Joining us now is Logan Gilland, analyst, Jewel Financial. Taking a look at Oklo. That stock set to report quarterly results after the close. Logan, let's talk about the setup for today. I mean, this is a pre-revenue company. That stock, though, has surged more than 900% over the past year, up more than 200% so far this year. What's going on here?
Yeah, it's an unbelievable name, and it's obviously been driven by a couple of different things. One, regulatory environment has gotten better for a name like this. Nuclear is in favor a little bit now with the Trump administration and with the overall energy demands of data centers and now the AI race that has been happening. So there's a lot of demand for something like this. But the important thing I think to know about Oklo, although we love the stock, we've been in it a long time, we've trimmed recently, but it's important to know they are pre-revenue. And they have to kind of pull off this magic trick in order for the stock to work long term. And if it does work long term, it's going to be phenomenal. But you have to be very careful. Remember, what this company is trying to do is basically put a small reactor nuclear power plant on about a 3-acre plot of land. I mean, it's a pretty phenomenal new technology that's being developed, but it is still in development. Now, they're targeting into 2027, into 2028 for commercial use. But right now, when we look at an earnings call, there's no earnings. I mean, we're really focused more on what the cash burn is and what they're talking about the progress is with the creation of this new technology.
So, yeah, listen, I was at this conference this weekend, and there was an energy expert there who talked about that with nuclear. And his conversation is, this is a long road. It takes a lot of time to build in this space, and it can be costly. So when you think about, especially we're expecting another loss, we're expecting a loss of 12 cents a share, and it's, burning through cash. So what's the biggest milestone investors should be looking for when they're looking at, especially when you think about how to value Oklo?
Yeah, I think it has to go with the earnings call conversation. Now, one is going to be important to make sure that they're still within their guidelines of $65 to $80 million of what their cash burn should be this year. If it's astronomically more than that, you'd wonder why. The other part of it is, are they still on progress for that into 2027, into 2028 for actually having commercial production of this? Because this, again, is something that can take a very long time. And in their earnings call for Q1, you saw them basically talk about the regulatory environment for half of the call, where they're talking about, hey, this is the progress we're getting with this. This is the approval we're getting there. So more discussion on that. And if they're running into any roadblocks, that's going to be very important for the call as well. One thing to know, though, this is not a fundamental name. I mean, we're kind of harping on that, but it's not. It's a speculative name. It's one that's either going to probably continue to do fantastic, or it's going to run into some big roadblocks that's going to hurt the stock significantly. You got to be really careful about chasing it after the amazing run that it's had, and you got to know why you're buying it. You can't just put money into a name like this just expecting to hit the lottery. You got to really understand what the company's trying to do and not try to just make a quick buck. Because you look at Friday, it was down 5% on Friday. It was up 15% on the last earnings call. This is a name that has crazy volatility on a day-to-day basis. So you have to be comfortable with that and know why you're earning it and size it appropriately in your portfolio.
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. So what is the why around this? Especially you all have had a position in there. You booked some gains, but you're still holding a position. What's the why behind that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the new need for technology like this. The energy demands from AI and from data centers and from the future is really, really going to be important. So you have to have an energy substitute. We can't just rely on oil and gas forever, I don't believe. So having some of the nuclear play and then finding a company like this that's going to almost try to commercialize it and make it very simple. Again, a 3-acre plot of land for one of these kind of small-sized reactors. That could be a fantastic technology. And obviously, when we first bought it, Altman was involved and his ties to AI as well. So they understand the needs that are coming down the pipe. But it's a hard one to buy probably here after such a fantastic run. And again, we've been trimming and taking off some of those gains because we don't want to get greedy in a name like this, and you want to keep it an appropriate size of your portfolio when it's pre-revenue and hasn't really proven it yet. They've done all the right steps. They've continued to make progress, but they haven't proven it yet because they have no revenue.
Yeah, and look, and they are making some deals. But let's talk about that timeline you mentioned, the 27 to 2028 for commercial use. How realistic do you think that is, and what could either move it forward or back?
Yeah, I think it's difficult. I think the biggest thing that they could run into is regulatory issues. Now, obviously, the environment is ripe for it right now, and it seems like they are on track. And everything they've said in their earnings call has been making progress. They've been making progress with their plants out in Idaho, I believe. And they've been making a lot of deals, like you said. They've been making a lot of contract deals and writing up a lot of that. So there's a high demand for this to happen. I think they could potentially run into regulatory issues if something changed. That's the biggest hurdle to overcome. But if they can get over that and they continue making progress, I think this is could be a long-term real winner. But again, it's very speculative right now. You have to be careful.
All right, careful is the name of the game here. It certainly moves, as you mentioned, sharply either way. But this year, you can't ignore the move it's had year to date. Thank you, Logan. That's Logan Gilland, analyst, Jewel Financial, to look at Oklo. Those results due later.